Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Donovan Strauss. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I am good. So kind of just talk about well, since this is your first time on the channel, kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do and what you race.
Yeah, so I race late model stocks in North Carolina, South Carolina for AK Performance. I'm racing in the NASCAR Weekly Series, just local weekly shows, and I'm doing some starts in the ZMAX Cars Tour this year. And I also race in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series for Williams Esports, and it's been I'm in my third year doing that. So it's kind of what I do. I do both sim racing, real racing, trying to make it to NASCAR.
So how did you like get into how did you get into racing?
So I got into racing from my dad. He used to be a NASCAR fan way before I was, and then one day he was watching a race. It was Martinsville 2011, the spring race exactly.
Yep.
And I saw it and I started watching it, and literally after week by week after that, I was hooked. And so that's how I became a fan. And then I was living in Miami, Florida at the time I moved, right before I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And when I moved here, which I am in Atlanta now, that's when I started racing legend cars and started off in Bandoleros back 4 years ago. But I just ended my legend car journey, and that's kind of what we moved here for.
Yeah. Okay, so like you were talking about just, I know you have a big year plan with a lot of the stuff that you're doing. you know, how do you like get through all that? Like, on the e-race, on the e-NASCAR side, and then just the actual car side.
It's obviously it's a tough journey living two lives, basically. Like this is one life and then the real stuff's another life. So it's hard. I'd say it's really challenging because you gotta be focused on both of them. Because I'm the type of person when I'm all in, and I'm all in on obviously the sim racing stuff, being in the world championship, and then I'm all in trying to pursue NASCAR. So it's tough, but you just gotta make the best of the time you have in both worlds and make sure you can put time aside for one and then put time aside for the other. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's definitely challenging, but I've been doing it the last 3 years now, so it's nothing I don't think I can handle.
So, how long have you been racing in late models?
This is my first year. I just made my first start in the icebreaker at Florence Motor Speedway. That was my first start. So I was definitely put into a challenging field with a lot of guys who have been doing this over the last 5, 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
even Dale Jr. So
Yeah.
it was challenging.
Yeah. Remember watching that. What was just like to be out there?
Um, it was it was definitely special to be out there and be against all these guys that have been doing this, like I said, the last decade. Um, it was a big learning experience, and everything I feel like I knew from the legend car racing world, I kind of have to throw that out the window now, with this because this is completely different, and so it's kind of my mindset going into this year is just got to learn a whole new thing, whole new process. So it's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Also, I think the biggest thing is that, how many races like do you have planned, just, racing these, the local races for the weekly series?
Yeah, I think we have about the goals 15 to 20 races this year. I think that's a good schedule for late model stocks. Obviously, we'll be running a lot of Florence and going into some Hickory races, but a lot of Florence. I feel like Florence teaches a lot, and Florence is definitely challenging, and I feel like it's the best place to be honest. So, I'd say about 15 to 20 races.
Who's kind of been like the person that's really kind of helped you throughout, like, getting into a late model and running and just being able to run one of those things?
My number one person, it's got to be my mom. Just me and her. So, it's we're just our small operation. business wise, and so that's why our story is a little bit different. Yeah, obviously have a lot of people like they have their dad writing checks for a lot of young kids coming up, where you got, some big time company that's backing them that they know through relationships. So I'd say my mom, but I have Keith Sturgio from Johnny's Pizza down here in Stockbridge, Georgia. He's been helping me a lot. So just just a big learning year and trying to put things together, put partnerships together, show why we do what we do and how we can do it better than everybody else.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you've learned just, just racing, you know, late model stocks and, you know, all that?
I'd say the biggest thing I learned at Florence was definitely how challenging it really is to compete in such a great field of race cars. You have to have everything. I mean, you have to be, even if when you're at your best, you're sitting there and trying to run 10th, 15th. So to run and actually win one of these races and beat, one of the JRM cars like Carson Quappool, Connor Hall, you gotta ever have everything go your way. So just challenging. It's a lot more challenging than what I'm used to, and it's not a talent reason. It's just, there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes with these teams than that's what's talked about. So that's big. That's the biggest thing.
So you're going to run some cars tour races.
Yes.
How many are you planning on doing and where do you think you might run?
I'd like to just run a couple, and I can't give an exact number because I don't know the answer. But I'd like to run definitely at Florence when the Cars Tour comes here. That's obviously going to be something we do. Tri-County, I would like to run. I think they go there in May. I feel like that would be good, along with maybe Hickory and maybe one other race. But I'd say that's about. We're trying to keep it in that range. Like I said, it's a first year. We're trying to just build something here and have a benchmark of where to go. So I'd say that's the biggest. That's what we have planned.
On the eNASCAR side, how are things going there?
So we just wrapped up round one at Daytona, and I finished sixth. So the last 2 years, I finished 36th at Daytona. So I have by far the best start I've had. I believe, I've told myself a lot that this year is going to be, I think this is going to be my year. Whether that's playoffs, championship four, this is going to be my year. This is a year to take advantage of the resources around me, the the competition. This is my year to take advantage of it. So we'll see where it goes. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I think. So I think our goal is to just try and stay in the top 10 in points and try and get into the playoffs.
How do you mentally get ready for a race?
I just it I like music's my thing. Music's a big part of my life. So I'm usually listening to music for a race, whether it's eNASCAR or a late model race. I just usually helps me get locked in mentally and just focusing on the goal, whatever goal I have set out that race. That's how I get locked in mentally is just, you just got to be focused on what you're doing that day and what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish.
So, are you just like you put your headphones in and just kind of like just get mentally ready and all that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I roll.
Okay. Let me also ask you this. What is on Donovan's playlist?
So I have a bit of everything. I have a little bit of rap on here. I'm I'm on Spotify right now. I got Drake on here. I got Future on here.
Yeah,
I got and I got country on here. I got Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan. I got even Taylor Swift on here. Taylor Swift's on here. I got Pearl Jam on here.
yeah,
I listen to a bit of everything.
yeah. Um, so when is your next race for the eNASCAR, and when is the next time we're gonna actually see you in on pavement?
So the next eNASCAR race is February 20 February 27th. We race at Las Vegas, and I've always already been practicing for that, so that's our next race. And then my next late model stock race is February, I think 15th and 6th or March 15th and 16th. Sorry, at Florence. It's a weekly show.
All right. Let's get to know you a little bit. How about that?
All right.
Okay. Best racing moment that you've had. This could be anything.
Best racing moment I have is definitely winning the INX Pro National Championship for Legend Cars last year at Las Vegas.
Okay. What's an interesting fact people do not know about you?
Interesting fact a lot of people don't know about me is that um I'm always listening to music. A lot of people don't know that, honestly, but I'm always listening to music, whether I'm on a trip, at home, I'm always listening to music.
Nice. Favorite band.
Favorite band. Uh right now I mean it goes back and forth, but right now I'm probably on Pearl Jam, and it's just an old school banger band, and that's where I'm on right now.
Okay. Favorite food.
Favorite food. I go here basically every day, but Chipotle is probably my favorite.
Nice.
I can't keep me away from there.
Okay. Are you a bowl guy or are you a burrito guy?
I go back and forth, but right now I'm on a bowl. Oh, I'm on a bowl grind.
You're a bowl guy?
Bowl guy.
Okay. Let's see. Favorite movie.
Favorite movie. Oh, this is tough. I'm not crazy on movies, but I do like really old movies.
Okay.
Probably uh ooh, I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not too crazy into movies. It's
All
not
right.
really my thing.
All right, let's try this then. Favorite TV or streaming show that you're into right now or were into in the past?
Ooh, okay. Favorite TV show. Well, mhm. I was listening or I was watching a show, but I don't remember what it was called. Like it was so long. Like I watched something, but I binge watch it. So I'll watch it in like 2 days.
Okay.
And I'll be like,
You're just
I'm done
gonna,
with it.
so you're just like, if
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
hooked on a
remember.
show, yeah, I just need to watch all of it.
Yeah, and I don't remember like what it's called after
Oh,
like a week. I'm like,
oh,
oh yeah, I watched that, but I don't remember what it's called.
okay. All right. Okay. And finally, this most memorable race that you've been a part of.
Most memorable race I've been a part of. This is tough because are we talking about eNASCAR or
Anything.
anything? Oh, uh, for me at least, it's probably last year like I guess the most wild race I've been in was last year, round 4 of Winter Nationals for um for Legend Cars in Florida.
Okay.
There was like a huge like there was wrecks left and right that race, and I got punted out of the way on the last lap and still won on the outside out of turn 4. That's probably my favorite race I've ever been in.
Nice. All right. Well, Donovan, thanks so much for the time and let's have you on again sometime.
Thank you. Thank you, Casey.